Hey everybody, it's Pete. How's it going today? Welcome to a new episode of Stocks for Breakfast. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is a little bit subjective, but one that you absolutely positively should learn. And I can practically guarantee after you watch this video, you're going to have a whole different view of what day trading stocks are, how to find the hottest day trading stocks, and how to make it infinitely easier to be in the right stocks. Now, the right stocks is relative. So I'm going to walk you through the exact process of what I do every single day. I don't want to keep doing that. And how to structure up your trading monitors so that you don't miss good opportunities. Now, it takes a little bit of work after hours because you need to set everything up. But as we're going through this, you can take a snapshot and set the whole thing up for yourself. I happen to be using the TradeStation trading platform, but I'm sure you could do it on any good chart reading platform. It really doesn't make a difference. So we're going to head on over to the screen. Just have to give you one little quick disclaimer, and then we'll get started. Okay, so first I just want to ask one favor. If I provide value for you today, it would mean the world for me if you click down, give us a subscribe, smash that like button. And if you like these videos, make sure you get updates, so hit that alert button. So what we're going to do is we're going to first start out. We're going to head right over to the exact chart setup. So what I recommend you do is actually screenshot this, and then we're going to actually work our way forward. So we're going to start here. Actually, you know what? Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. So I'm going to walk you through this. Now, any charting platform can do this, and I've mentioned this. I walked through this before, but I'm going to go through a little bit more detailed setup so that when you do this, you actually understand what you're looking at. So across the board, this is actually what's the most important part here, and these two signals over here as well. So we're going to start out with the SPY ETF. First, just to give you some context, these are the major sector ETFs. So we have the SPY ETF, the QQQ, and the DIA. So we have the S&P 500, the QQQ NASDAQ Trust, and the DIA is the Dow Jones Industrial ETF. In the corner over here, we're going to look at the tick, which is the New York Stock Exchange tick reading. This is a 5-minute chart. And the bottom left-hand corner over here, we have the VIX, which is the volatility index, also on a 5-minute chart. So these two indicators here are really my primary indicators for looking at the market during the day. When I say primary, this is actually kind of interesting. They're my primary indicators, but my secondary way of making a decision. So all of the decisions first come from what I'm looking at in the market and the sector ETFs. That's where I get my ideas from. That's where I get my conviction from. That's where I get my bias from. And then after I have individual stocks or I'm looking to make a trade, then I do a little bit deep dive, kind of as a secondary confirmation in the VIX and the ticks, to confirm what I'm already seeing in price action. So we're going to head back on over to the charts. I'm going to go over the rest of the ETFs that are on here. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm looking to blanket the market and get an idea of which individual sectors have great relative strength now, especially relative strength compared to the top three here. So up in the corner over here, we have the XLE, the energy ETF, XLF, financial, XLK, technology, XLV, healthcare, and healthcare has been very strong recently. XLB, basic materials. XLC, communication services. IWM, the Russell 2000. XLY, consumer discretionary. XLP, consumer staples. And then XLI, industrials. Okay, so now what we want to do is walk through what's actually on the chart. So we went through the two market internals. We went through the top three that matter the most: the SPY, the NASDAQ, the SPY, the QQQ, and the diamonds, and the other ones. To give a little bit more context, generally speaking, you want at least 2 days, 3 if you can fit it on your screen, depending on how much your real estate, but 2 days is fine. And we're using the hourly charts. So these are 60-minute charts. Now, my charts happen to start where the first hour is from 9:30 to 10:30, then it goes 10:30 to 11:30, and then the last hour of the day is technically 3:30 to 4 o'clock. That's a setting in most softwares. You could also, if you don't have that setting or you can't change it, you could use 30-minute candlesticks to tell the hour. But it's critically important to understand that they're all on the same time frame. I think, and over the years, I just find that it's easier because that first hour of the day, really the first 2 hours of the day, are the most volatile and readable part of the day for day traders. It's where overnight volatility comes in. All that overnight news gets kind of compressed and you get really good, clean follow through. The volume is good. So you really want to be on top of the hour. So it's important to me to have 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11:30. And you always reset that at the bottom of the hour. That's actually a big thing we're going to talk about right now as well. So this is great, right? What actually are we doing now? So when we're actually watching these, we're actually first watching the color of the candle, and we're starting over here. And if you remember, one of the things that we talk about all the time, and we actually we had a video on this. I'll post a link above this. Was about 6 minutes into the video. Is the stock market power pyramid. Okay, the stock market power pyramid actually starts out with the major indices. So we'll call them the big three. And those big three are the ones that are in the middle of my screen, the QQQ, the SPY, and the diamonds, which is the Dow Jones Industrials. Then above that, we have the sectors. Then above that, we have industry groups. And then above that, we actually have individual stocks. Okay. So what we're doing here is when we're watching the screen and we're looking at it from a day trading perspective, our main focus is going to be here. What is the overall market doing in the three major indices? Then we're looking to see which sectors are displaying relative strength in sync with the major indices. If not, then which individual industry groups and then individual stocks. Today, we're not going to focus so much on industry groups as much as we're going to focus on the big three, sectors, and stocks. Now, don't forget what we're doing right now. We're trying to find the hottest stocks to day trade right now. We're looking for the hottest stocks to buy as day traders right now and be in them as long as the criteria is still valid in the overall market and our market internals, the VIX and the ticks, are confirming what we're seeing on the price action. So we're going to head over to the screen. We're going to actually drill this home and bring it in a little bit. So again, our main focus is going to be here, which is here. So most of my day is spent here. And to drill that down even deeper, I'm looking at the color of the candle. So just looking at here in the first hour, which is actually pretty interesting. And I remember this vividly from yesterday's price action. Now, this is kind of important because we're going to be going through hour by hour by hour, making decisions and then making those decisions on which sectors should I be in, what has individual strength, and then those sectors, we drill down to the individual stocks performing the best. And I'm actually going to show you a really cool way to filter it down and filter it down and filter it down. So only looking at the best stocks right now, which is probably one of the secrets to really being a good day trader. If you want to be buying the right stocks as day traders, you need to be in what's the right stocks. And the right stocks are ones that are showing relative strength right now. So the two big indicators that we're using for that are today's opening price and the color of the current hourly candlestick, which is why I said it's important that I do from 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11:30. So if you think about this, what we're actually doing to be in the right stocks, or day trading the right stocks, we are resetting the bias every hour. So 9:30 to 10:30, that's one window of opportunity. 10:30 to 11:30 is another window of opportunity, but we're doing that across all three of the power pyramid. Then we're doing that across all the sectors, and then we drill that down to which stocks are the strongest right now. I'm telling you, if you are serious about being a day trader, this is only the structure of what to look at. Then we actually have to figure out how to enter those trades, how to set initial profit targets, how to have the right position sizing, how to manage the winning trades. You have to know if you're a momentum trader versus you are a trend trader intraday. Don't forget, in between entry and exit is where the magic happens. Look, I'd love to have you join me. If you'd like to join me and do this with me every day, I actually give you the entries and exits and signals and trade managements and everything. Click the link below the video. At least click through and see what the 30-day bootcamp is all about. I actually think you'll like it. So we're going to head on over now. We're going to talk about the reset and then drilling it down into deeper levels to be in the right stocks. Okay, again, this is specifically for day trading stocks. So we already talked about this. we're going to take that off the screen. So what's kind of interesting here is looking back on yesterday, you can see the SPY ETF, the color of that was green. So the first hour in the SPY ETF was strong yesterday. Drilling down deeper into the NASDAQ finished, and the Q specifically, finished in what is known as a melted candle, where it opened and closed in basically the same spot. So not relative strength in the SPY ETF, although it was above the previous day. And that's another thing we're going to look at. Where are we compared to the previous day's trading range? And you can see the diamonds were still inside of yesterday. So out of all three of these, the SPY was the strongest. And then we'd walk our way over this way. The XLF, we'd look at financial stocks in the first hour. Okay. We'd look at XLV, healthcare stocks. Okay. Everything was strong pretty much the first hour. Maybe not so much the XLC, communication services, but the first hour, we would be focusing on anything other than technology. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to work our way over into XLV. Now, this is really where it gets kind of cool. So we already just said we're looking at the market. We didn't have perfect price action out of the technology stocks, and specifically tech, which is weird because that's really what's been carrying the market. But because we had the screen set up properly, we knew where to look immediately for this hour. So the first hour, remember, we're looking to reset it every hour in the context of the color of that candle and where we are compared to yesterday's trading range. Now we drill a little bit deeper. This is really where the book, we kind of keep going through the day trading book and get deeper and deeper into which stocks we should be looking at right now. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we go over now, we're looking at the XLV. That sounds awesome, right? What are we doing? Now, would that be the best opportunity in that particular moment? Well, in this hour, it was well above yesterday, but it had some resistance here. So again, yesterday's high and low is probably one of the biggest things that we could be looking for. But let's actually go into the XLF. And again, outside of yesterday's range, really strong first hour, we're gonna use that as context. So it could be the XLF or it could be the XLI industrial. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over into all these pre-built lists that we have, okay? So you can see here on the bottom, I have the XLK, the XLB, the XLE, and the XLI. So we're going to start out here actually looking at the XLI. Now we're going to drill it down even further. We have the month, the week, the day, and the minute. These are all the color of the current candlesticks. So I want to know in that moment that I am trading, which of these stocks are strongest today. In other words, which of these stocks have green candlesticks today? So I'm immediately putting myself in a situation where if I'm looking at industrial stocks, because right now that candle is green, right now it's outside of yesterday's range. Now, what I want to talk about here, which is super important, we're not even putting in longer term technical analysis. We're just talking about day trading stocks right now. We're talking about day trading the hottest stocks right now. If you really want to ratchet this up a little bit, we're only talking about right now order flow. Resetting every single hour. Hottest stocks right now, hottest stocks right now. If you really want to take this to another level, which again is what we do in the order flow bootcamp, you start to look at the same data on the daily charts. You start to look at this data on the weekly charts, the monthly charts, and you're looking to build that argument for like, wow, it's positive on the monthly, it's positive on the weekly, it's positive from yesterday. The stock is well bid, which if you watch the channel all the time, you know that well bid means higher highs and higher lows on that daily chart, and the current hour is green, and the current day is green. That's where you start to drill it down. So if we go down and drill down deeper into the XLI, which we just said the industrial stocks, I'm going to show you how to drill this all the way down. So we're actually going to now filter this down to which stocks are positive on the month by at least a cent. 1 cent. So now we're drilling that down even deeper. And we're going to work our way now over into which stocks are positive on the week. And we're going to work our way over to which stocks are at least positive by that. And then we're going to drill it down even further, which stocks are positive by the day. And that's going to bring us all the way down to 3 different time frames. Order flow in 3 different time frames. And we do the same exact thing over here to the XLF. If we start out on the daily, you can see the XLF holdings, which ones are the strongest. So essentially what we're doing now is we are going from what is the market doing? Okay, great. We're bullish. We should be looking for stocks to buy. Now, what happens if, well, actually, let's stay there. If the market is bullish, we're looking for stocks to buy. Then we work our way over into the individual sectors that are performing the most in that same hour as the market. And then we find the best stocks within that sector that meet the criteria. If you want to drill out deeper, you go the month, the week, the day, and the hour. If you're just looking for day trading stocks, you stick right there on the hour. But what if the market is a choppy mess and you're like, oh my God, the S&P's up, the NASDAQ's down, the Dow's not doing anything. What do you do then? Well, that's where it's really critical to jump over and stay with this screen all day, because even if the market's a choppy mess, let's say like yesterday or 2 days ago where it was not really doing that much, this was the big gap down day, you can still find a pocket of opportunity to trade. So you can actually see here the last hour of the day 2 days ago in the XLE, and over here in the diamonds, and over here in the XLC. So what you're actually looking to do is you are looking for that reset, regardless of whether, now again, you need to know what looks awesome. If the market looks awesome, then you can be a little more aggressive. If it looks awesome across the board, like it did yesterday, where all of these sector ETFs pretty much throughout the entire day are looking strong, then you can dig in a little bit deeper, have more share size. That's what I would normally do. I'd have more share size, I'd have more positions, and I would switch from momentum trading to trend trading intraday because more is available. We build that argument for taking risk because the probability of profit is stronger. But what if the market's a mess? That's where you drill down even deeper. This is where your criteria intraday now changes. Now you're just looking for that green hourly candlestick. One level above that might be, is it positive from today's opening price? One level above that, what is the percentage change from today's opening price? So percentage change from today's opening price tells you that from today's open, so let's say the market opens at 9:30, that's the opening print. Where is the price action today? So not only do you want the positive price action from just today, remember you're resetting, just trading today's universe when you're day trading, positive from today, positive from the current hour, and then you short only looking at those stocks. And that's how you drill all the way down to just stock specific if the market happens to not be having a good day. But again, those stocks you're looking at should first be in a sector that is strong right now, despite what the market is doing on that individual day. So again, just going to bring it down here, and we're going to walk through this just one final time. You have all the sector ETFs. You have the VIX and the TIX. The VIX, we're looking for secondary confirmation in the VIX and the TIX. Then once you find a sector that you like, so for example, XLY, XLB in the first hour, then you need to have your list of individual sectors to find the stocks within those sectors. And that's how you work, starting with the big three, go to the sectors, and then go to the individual stocks. Now, if you really want to get fancy, then you break it all the way down to individual industry groups. So for example, you hear me talking a lot about the solar industry. A lot of people are talking about the electric vehicle industry. So then you'll have a little bit of a deeper breakdown. You'll have cannabis stocks in one list. So we'll have GRWG, we'll have Tilray, and those stocks will then be a whole separate watch list. So you go all the way down to industry groups and then individual stocks within those industry groups. This is by far the most reliable way and predictable way to be in the hottest stocks when you're day trading. You could trade low float stocks. You could find stuff that's in the news every day. I just find that incredibly challenging to do. Now, if you find a hot sector that also has news, like healthcare recently has been very strong, you kind of get that extra juice on top of the ideas. But this is the most reliable way. This is the strategy that all of the great traders have done for the last 100 years, where you're not guessing. You're looking for market leadership, and you're confirming that with the overall trend of the market, and that's really where conviction comes from. Isn't that really what we want? We want conviction in our trading ideas. We want to feel confident when we know what we're looking at, because isn't that confidence really where we get the guts to accept risk in exchange for that profit potential? Once you get comfortable doing this, it becomes easier to be in the right stocks. And when you're day trading, there's so much going on. This is just an easier way to eliminate all of that stress and only focus on what's moving now. The other way to possibly day trade and be in the right stocks is what's called creating a universe. And you just create that same list of stocks that you trade day after day after day. And there's absolutely validity to that. What we're doing here, though, is we're also getting a feel for what the market is doing overall, which is conviction level. Because once you have a really good feel for what the market does, you'll know when you should have more share size and you'll know when you should have less shares, if not even be in cash, which has actually been a big thing that our community has been speaking about for the better part of the last 2 months, where we're making new highs, but it's not being supported by individual industry groups, which is interesting. And we saw the market sell off hard. It wasn't actually supported. So this is going to give you a really good feel too for what's going on kind of under the hood of the market as well. So hope this helped you. Hope you took some snapshots, got a good feel for how to set this up for yourself. If you have any questions, absolutely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and click the link about joining us in the bootcamp. I would love to see you on the other side where we do this a lot more detailed. Have an awesome day, everybody. I'll speak to you soon.